Hello guys, good day. This is Anna Free Enforcement Club. Today we are going to talk about why people get slower as they age. So it's just one heck of a morning when I got up, and then I realized that, I wasn't that active way back when I was younger, and then I began to ask myself, how in the world really people slow down as they age? I would understand, some reasons, but I just want to dig in and share it with you at the same time. Now, it started when we were just like fetus, and then an infant, and then a toddler, an active, sometimes hyper toddler, and then we become a kindergarten, or we're in a creche. We play around up to the point that we become teenager, and then young adults. We were fully active, and our body is always hunger for activities, anything to do, anything that must be done in order to use up the energy that we have. But the thing is, when you reach a certain age, particularly, well, personally I would say 30s, in 30s you begin to slow down. Well, it could be different to some men, to some people, because when I was in my 20s, it's just that, I have different activities, and I could most probably I have sedentary life when I was in 20s, but when I started to reach 30s, and I began to work out, and I think I'm becoming myself, more likely myself, and then but the energy wasn't the same. You know what I mean? And there is high and low, but when we were younger, the high energy means high, like way up, but this time high and low and manageable. So, aging is a complex process that affects our body in multiple levels, leading to general decline in our physical, and it could be, at the same time, yes, cognitive functions. And here are some primary reasons why people tend to slow down as they age. Basically, number one is because our heart function tends to slow down too. There are changes in the cardiovascular health, like in the heart function. The heart's pumping efficiency declines with age, reducing our maximal oxygen consumption. Maximal oxygen consumption refers to the amount of oxygen that an individual can utilize during exercise. So, if you are not used to working out, to like tough workout, tough cardio, you may experience a little bit of hardship. It could be hardship in the first few days, in the beginning stage of your journey towards, it could be marathon, Olympic. So it happens to everybody. But as when you started out, like training for a triathlon in your 40s, it'll be different. You got to adjust with your body because your heart muscles are adjusting too. And the blood vessels, as we age, tend to become stiffer, increasing people's tendency to get the so-called high blood pressure, reducing the blood flow efficiency to the muscles and organs. And it's not only the fault of the heart. We also have something to do with this, because our diet, our activity, and the way we manage stress has also something to do with our vitality, with our body, our ability to adapt with the negativity around us. Now, another thing that contributes to the reason why people tend to slow down as they age, it is because of this. Number two, the muscle mass and strength declines, and that is called sarcopenia. Muscle loss inevitable if we don't look after ourselves. As we age, we naturally lose muscle, and this decline begins around 30s to 60s and beyond. Have you noticed it? When we were younger, especially women, we have good biceps. We have this, the forms, sexy body forms. We can manage that because we have estrogen. But by the time when we experience menopause, wherein our our estrogen begins to leave our body, to low down it to its level, our muscle mass also be compromised. Now, since our muscle mass slows down as we age, it goes along with the reduction of the protein synthesis in our body. That is the muscle's ability to synthesize protein. And protein synthesis has something to do with the tissue growth and repair, as well as the structural support of the cells and tissues. So, like for example, when we were younger, like 20s, we're drinking protein and then we work out and we have this muscle wear and tear on the biceps because our target is a bicep. That protein synthesis will repair that particular muscles, and then it adapts and it goes stronger and larger because of its stress. That is our ability to adapt to muscle stress. That is one of the job of protein synthesis. But as we age, we don't have that much power. But we can still do something about it. Another thing, number 3. As we age also, one of the reasons why we tend to move slower, because the speed of the nerve signal transmission in our brain also slows down, affecting our reaction time and coordination. So this is due to neurons degeneration. Not necessarily a disease, but it could eventually lead to a certain disease in the late age. And there are also brain changes that could take place. Like, if you don't train our brain well, if we don't stimulate our brain, our memory could also slow down. The executive function of our brain tends to decline, affecting our coordination, our responsiveness. So sometimes we cannot manage to really escape, like involuntarily, whatever hits us. Like for example, we cannot catch the ball the way we did when we were younger. We can manage to catch the ball, but we're still thinking twice. We're thinking about if we could ever have injury. We're looking after ourselves more when we get older. But when we were younger, okay, bring it on. We got the energy. We still got the ability for faster recovery when we were younger. And number 4, as we grow older, there are also changes in our joint and bone health. We will be prone to osteoarthritis. This is age-related wear and tear of the joints, causing pain, stiffness, and reduced mobility. That is why we are extra careful as we move when we're aging. And this has also something to do with our regular physical activity in our diet. We can prevent or avoid osteoarthritis when we look after ourselves. And as we also grow older, our bone density decreases. It decreases with age. Now, when we have a strong bone density, it means that the calcium and minerals are inside the bone, so the bone is much denser. So that particular bone, could be a younger person, is stronger and less likely to break down. So as we grow older, we are prone to getting fractured and reducing the overall stability and strength of our muscles and bone. That's why we are extra careful. And as we grow older, we try to move slower, much careful, because it also saves us energy. We don't want to end up panting, catching our breath. We try to take good care of ourselves, our precious body, not to get injured. And lastly, the metabolic changes. Have you noticed it? When we were younger, we have a good appetite. And we still have that appetite up to when we are approaching early or approaching 30s. And as we notice that we still have a good appetite, we gain weight. We still eat well in our 30s, but we tend to gain weight if we don't look after our diet. That is because of the decreased metabolic rate. And as we also grow older, our insulin sensitivity also decrease. As a result, that we tend to experience fatigability because of too much activity, stress. We have lower tolerance to stress, muscle stress, or any environmental stress. We get easily fatigued, we get easily fainted as we grow older, but not all. Now, what can we do about it? This is aging is inevitable, but it all boils down to the fact that we must not stop our body from moving. I have met people here in Europe, in Ireland, who are still working in their 70s as part time, in their 80s, because, I asked them, why are you still working? They told me, and most of them are men, they told me that that is the secret of their longevity. They still reading newspaper, they don't stop. As part time, as working for free for their own company, taking good care of their grandkids, it's all free, and they keep their body moving. That is one secret. That some of them they're still solving Sudoku, puzzles, reading newspaper. What else to keep their brain active? That's one secret to keep the body moving as well as the brain. Now, what can we do about it? Basically, as I've already mentioned, regular physical activity. Resistance training can help maintain, build muscle mass and strength, combating sarcopenia, the loss of muscle mass. Keep the muscle, because as long as we have muscle, we still can manage to lift. Not totally to lift the entire house, though. We can still manage to really do our activities of daily living as much as we can, as manageable as it is for us. We could also do aerobic exercise. You can do as tough aerobic exercise as you can, as well as flexibility and balance, like exercises like yoga, tai chi, to enhance your flexibility, to prevent osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, all types of arthritis, plus the diet. But before anything else, make sure that you don't have any comorbidities. Sometimes, people tend to slow down because they have already ongoing comorbidities. They have other health issues. And some of those health issues could be genetic. Some of those health issues did pop up when they were younger. So we can't avoid that. That's also one reason why people, as they get older, they move slower. But it still all depends on how you look at things, how you manage yourself. You can still run, you can still jog. As the way you look after yourself, you take care of yourself, you love yourself. Self-care is everything. Now, the second thing that you can do about this is nutrition. Some people, they have a protein supplement, which is crucial for muscle repair and growth, as they still want to continue their regular physical activities, and they still want to have a muscle mass. And evidently, we can still see these people on social media and YouTube, that these people who are over 60s, over 70s, who still have abs, who still have good muscle mass compared to some people who are younger than them. They still have the looks because they're taking good care of themselves. You can also try to consider anti-inflammatory diet. Those diets which are rich in fruits, vegetable, whole grains, omega-3 fatty acids, to reduce inflammation and support joint health. You could also take vitamin D and calcium supplement, or merely expose yourself under the sun. The type of sun exposure which is healthy. Like in the Philippines, I can relate to this. Sun exposure between 6 and 7 in the morning, or 6 and 8 in the morning, is still manageable. It's still healthy. Although it depends on where you are, because when you are in the city, that sun exposure is already hot. But when you are in a mountain province, that type of exposure is the best ever. It stimulates your body to produce vitamin D, so that calcium can be used up, can be converted, and will be delivered to your bones. Now, another thing you can do, cognitive stimulation. You might want to consider mental exercises like puzzles, reading, learning new skills, learning new language. I've seen retired people here going to Italy, learning new language. Or some of them here in Ireland, they've already know the language like English. They try to teach it somewhere else. When they retire, they keep their body and mind active. And another thing, the best part, keep your social engagement. Keep in touch with your loved ones. Make memories. Make memories with people who matters. And you could also consider supplements, medications, vitamins, minerals, proteins to combat osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, to improve your quality life, and also maintain a good muscle mass while you're working out. In the most part, have yourself regular health checkups to improve, to not only to improve your perspectives about your, life plans, at the same time looking after yourself. This is also a means to detect and manage age-related conditions early on. So have a regular checkup. Enjoy every moment. Since we've already been to those times when we were younger, we've already enjoyed that. And once again, aging is inevitable, but it impacts on physical and cognitive functions in our lives. But we can manage this aging. The consequences of aging by regular exercise, proper nutrition, cognitive stimulation, and appropriate medical care. By adopting the strategies that I've mentioned, you can have the possibility, or a great possibility, to maintain higher quality of life and independence well in later years. Once again, cherish every moment. Cherish what you have, especially those people. Make memories with people who matters to you, and leave a legacy. Whatever is your age, embrace it. Embrace aging. And life is beautiful. We just have to create it and create our own way, and life is what we make it. Create yourself. Create. Keep schooling life. Now, if you love this message today, you can share it to your family and friends. You can follow me in YouTube podcast, YouTube podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Facebook. I'm also in Amazon Podcast if you have Audible. This is Anne once again of Reinforce Me Club. Have a lovely day ahead, and I do appreciate your time. Thank you.